Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Selamat tengah hari, selamat sejahtera tuan-tuan dan puan-puan yang saya hormati sekalian. Yang berhormat abang tua aku, Tok Petinggi Harapan Jabu Anak Lumpang, Kapit Ketua Menteri Menua Sarawak. Yang berhormat menjadi aku, Datuk Ama Abang Aspia, ahli-ahli yang berhormat, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan yang saya hormati sekalian. I always believe whatever you do, do it well. That is my philosophy in life. Whatever you do it well. Whether you are Chief Minister of Sarawak, Prime Minister of Malaysia, a teacher in the rural area, a supervisor in the urban school, or even a street sweeper. Be proud of what you do and do it well. Otherwise, don't do it. Don't be half-hearted about something, because you're not doing justice to yourself and the society that you live in. These people who we will reward tonight are those who believe in what I believe, that what they do, they did it well. That is why we reward them tonight. In spite of difficulties, in spite of challenges, they can overcome the shortages and so on that are facing them, especially in Sarawak, where schools are inadequate, where schools are wanting, where facilities are wanting, and so many other shortages. But somehow or other, we managed to do it quite well. That is a compliment for us in Sarawak. That doesn't mean, of course, we don't ask for more from the federal government, who is responsible for education, but sometimes they neglect certain areas. Perhaps we did not tell them about it, they didn't know about it, and as a result, we have to supplement some of the things that they ought to do. So that is one of the difficulties we have to go through. Ladies and gentlemen, I also notice, and this is a compliment to us in Sarawak, and one of the reasons why I recognize the United Examination Certificate, because one of the reasons is because Chinese schools, so-called Chinese schools, admit Bumiputra students in the schools. There are some Chinese schools where the board members are all Chinese, but 80% of the students are Bumiputra, either Iban or Malay or whatever it is. And because they have that capacity, I think they ought to be recognized and so on. And I think because of this, I think we become quite popular with the people, not only the Chinese, but those who send their children, Bumiputra, who send their children to Chinese schools. We also taught Bahasa Malaysia, English, and so on. So that is, there's some misunderstanding about this now, but I will clarify the thing in the coming Day One sitting, what exactly is our decision on this matter. Ladies and gentlemen, on facilities for education, Yayasan Sarawak is responsible to raise the standard of education in Sarawak. Don't associate Yayasan Sarawak simply with loan and scholarship. We do that, of course, loans and scholarship. That is our core business. But we also encourage, invest in other institutions invest in future talent. We have this program, that program. Hypers is one of them. So I suppose I really welcome any suggestion on how to improve the standard of education, especially in the rural area. There is a big gap between rural schools and urban schools. Urban schools are almost complete with facilities, but rural schools are always short of this, short of that, and so on. So I think that we must contribute. That is why Yayasan Sarawak adopt this program, adopting of schools, especially rural schools. I remember in the old days when rural schools were non-existent and the so-called common entrance examination. Not more than 30% can graduate to secondary school. There's a cut-off period. You finish primary 6, and if you cannot make one of the 30%, you have to do other things. The result is not 30% in the rural schools. You'll be lucky if you get 1 or 2% of students in the rural area qualifying for secondary school education. That has been changed, of course, but the gap is still there. And the private sector, and of course institutions like Yayasan Sarawak, must intervene in this area. Hypers is one of the programs that we engage in. And I expect Yayasan Sarawak to expand our program, adopt more schools, and so on. Don't worry, I'll find the money for you. Don't worry about that one. As long as... It so happens the chairman is also the chief minister of Sarawak, so no problem. By coincidence, I don't know, but anyway, there you are. So that rural students, I say again and again, can be on par with urban students. The other thing is, nowadays, in the 21st century, technical education becomes more and more important. If we are going to industrialize, which we are going to, you need people with technical skills. No more academic skills. The reason there are so many unemployed graduates among us in Malaysia, in the thousands, is because of two reasons. One, they have academic degrees, which has limited use. Two, their non-proficiency in the English language. One of the policies, mistaken policies we made, was to raise Bahasa Malaysia at the expense of the English language, when we could have raised both at the same time. Being bilingual is no problem for people in Sarawak. Everyone here can speak at least, of course, one more language other than their mother tongue, or even 3 languages. So that is, we have to raise Bahasa and English at the same time. But because we take the wrong route, thousands of our graduates are unemployed, or even unemployable. We have a remedial program, of course, retraining and so on, and many we can place them with jobs later on. I mean, we've been quite successful in that area. But every year there will be more and more graduates. And we work hard to have more programs on technical education and so on. Nowadays, an SPM alone is not enough. On top of that, you must develop a skill. And if you have that, you'll be taken in even when you are still in college. Industry will take you in. They are looking for people with technical skills and so on. So don't be shy about this sort of thing. You have to follow the times, otherwise you will be left behind. And in this case, they migrate somewhere else and we lose the talent. They migrate or work in Singapore and other countries, and we lose the talent. So that is the consequence of a mistaken policy, which fortunately we have changed recently. So that is as far as Sarawak is concerned, we want to have some say in education policy. We don't want just to be a recipient of a policy framed by somebody else without our interest in mind. We want to have some say in that policy. Because the consequences will be visited on us. So we have to have some say in our education policy. We don't want a system where what I call flip-flop. This year it is this one, next year different one again. The year after that different, change again. The students are confused. The students and their parents are confused. So be consistent in pursuing a certain policy so that people know in what direction we are heading and that we will be consistent. Sekali mau bahasa English for the teaching of science and mathematics. Sekali si mau bahasa, sekali back to English again. Maybe next year back to Hindu. We can't have the policy like that. Otherwise you confuse people. So I hope that they will take note of this one. Jadi ya aku terima kasih ya. Na ibu aku panjang-panjang. I want to congratulate all those who did well because they believe in whatever they do it well. Whatever you do it well. Except, of course, they have to prepare this text of speech for me. I don't think I will read them. It will make you sleep. Tidur kita. But I hate to disappoint whoever write this kind of thing. But I think all I have said it all already. So that is the message that we have to convey today. Sekian, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.